Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the all-new BILT Apex Helmet. Now, the Apex Helmet is going to be the new entry-level full-face helmet within BILT's line that is reaching the DOT and ECE 2206 safety rating, which is, I'd say, the biggest feature that it has going for this $100 price point. You are getting that ECE 2206, the newest standard out of Europe that a lot of people are reaching for when it comes to a safety standard on top of the DOT mandate here in the United States. I will say, just overall looks of it, it is a nice sporty look. I can see this out there for commuters, anybody riding a sport bike, sport touring, that's looking to just get in at that $100 price point. Even if you're just taking your MSF safety course and you're looking for your first helmet just to get through that, I think the BILT Apex would be a solid contender to consider when you are looking at other options on the market. But let's talk about some of the features and the quick hitting features just to give you an update on what's going on here. You are one shell, it is polycarb, it is intermediate oval, so a little bit longer front to back than it is side to side, and it does fit true to size. I wear a size medium in this one, and pretty much every helmet out there in a size medium fit me just fine. You are looking at 3 pounds, 8 ounces in a medium, which is, center of the road. I don't think that's going to be overly heavy for the price point and the features, and it's not the lightest one we've seen out there. But again, that 2206 safety rating is going to be the biggest feature that it has going for it when it comes to the overall construction. But let's just take a look at some of the features throughout. You do get an active chin vent down at the base that does go up to the shield, and you also get an active top vent with a scoop built in just to allow more airflow passing through, with 2 exhaust vents built into the spoiler of the back. And like I said, just looking at the overall side profile with that spoiler that I just mentioned and just showed you, I think it does have a nice sporty look to it, a nice sport touring look to it. It's not going to be something that's going to be jumping around at higher speeds. It'll be gliding through the air pretty well, and it does have a nice hawkspill design at the base, giving it a little bit of a curve if you are going for a more 3/4 or aggressive riding position, or if you're just looking for something to stay away from your collarbones and your shoulders, and if you're doing side checks, that'll be a nice feature on there just to stay out of the way. When we look at the front, you do have a clear shield included in the box. There's no drop down or anything like that with this helmet. It is just a clear shield, and it does have 3 detents throughout. You have the open, mid to high section, and then we call it the city position, where it's just a little bit of a crack before you close it. But at the base, it does have a tab that just goes plastic on plastic to secure it closed. And with that center lift tab, you can go ahead and lift it up and get some fresh air if you're at a stoplight, or if you're just coming for a stop, you can go ahead and easily lift that up. It doesn't bind or anything. No frills when it comes to the side pods, which you'd expect at this price point. It's just going to be a plastic system that is a quick release. If you pull on the trigger right here, it'll release the shield out and you can pop it in. It is pin lock ready shield, fairly flat shield as well, which helps with the optics, but it is pin lock ready. The pin lock is sold separately, so keep that in mind. But I like that BILT has also designed a gasket that seals up against the shield just to stop that airflow from moving through. Giving you a shot of the rear, again, nice clean side at the back. You can see the DOT logo as well as the ECE sticker and that spoiler with the vents built in at the base. But let's get into the interior of this helmet. One thing I want to call out, you do have a removable chin skirt. I know this is love or hate. It's 50-50 whether riders actually like keeping this on. The one thing I will say is it's nice and stout, so if you do take it off and then put it back in the fall, it's not gonna be something that comes off every time you put the helmet on, which we've seen from other brands out there. It's nice and stout. It does take a little bit to remove it, but I like that feature because if you want to use it, when you want to use it, it's not gonna be moving around at all. Popping out the cheek pads in here, there's gonna be a nice contour to these cheek pads with the plastic tab that fits it inside of the shell. You can see it has 2 points, front and rear, with nice curvature to follow the contours of your face, and it even has this flap over top of the speakers, so it's not gonna be something that if you do put a comm system inside of this, which is capable, it's not gonna be up against your ears, which I do like to see. I'll pop out the other side. It does have a little bit of a Velcro tab as well, keeping the cheek pads in place. Moving the other side, I can give you a nice shot at the speaker pockets inside of the helmet. It does have 45mm speakers, so if you're using even the biggest comm systems out there, the biggest speakers out there, they will fit inside with plenty of space to route the wiring. Put up a microphone in the front without that ventilation coming through the front, you're not gonna get any noise coming through or any wind noise messing up your conversation. It is a double D-ring closure system, and I'll remove the top liner. That is 2 snaps at the rear as well as a brow mount at the front, so you don't get any snaps or any undue pressure points up at the forehead when you're riding in that position. Again, it's intermediate oval, so it's not gonna cause any extra pain if you, say, run a little bit longer. You're not gonna be bumping into any snaps at the front, and you typically don't feel the snaps at the rear. Looking at the interior, you do have decent channels in the EPS on the inside. Helps flow that air from the front of the helmet through to the back and across your head, as well as helping any hot air exhaust out of the back of the rear of the helmet. But all in, I know I keep kind of harping on this point, for $100, looking at DOT and that ECE 2206 safety rating, it is definitely not a bad offering from BILT when it comes to a polycarb option. Within the line, we're typically seeing ECE 2206 helmets reach $200, $300, $400, $500, $100 and above. Seeing it come in at that $100 price point is a nice added benefit if, again, you're looking at maybe your first helmet, or if you're looking at something getting through the MSF course, or looking at just a new one that doesn't break the bank. But if you have any other questions on the new BILT Apex, go ahead and click that info button. That's going to take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about this new lid. If you still have questions after that, or if you do have questions on sizing, if you're figuring out your first helmet, go ahead and reach out to our customer service agents. They are all riders, happy to help you get set up on your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me and checking out the all-new BILT Apex helmet. I'm Pat, and I'll see you in the next video.